All right, and I think that we are live. Welcome to the opening of this bundle pack from the 2021 Core set from Magic the Gathering, or the M21 as it's also called. So in this bundle set, I do like these bundles because the case is pretty good for storage. Get an extra case, you get some foil lands, and also you get 10 boosters and a dice. So you get a lot of stuff in these bundle packs, which is why I actually love buying them. So let's get into opening this pack right here, and I'll try not to cut too deep here, simply because there is, I did cut a little bit there. There is on the inside, I'll show you, on the inside of the box, if you are careful, which I am trying to be, even though I did scratch it up a little bit there, I might be able to fix that. But if you do take the box out here, which is the great box for storage, you have an extra little box down here. I use those for different things, just for mana and stuff like that. Pretty good storage. So, and then before we get into the box, we also have, of course, some info cards. Don't know about that. But what I wanted to show was actually the inside of this box. They've been pretty good. And as you can see, if you open it up, you get a very nice picture in here. This time it's Teferi. I'll just see if I can't fix that a little bit. But it is a very, very nice picture you get in here. So I usually collect those. Let's put that away. There we go. All right. So that was just a little bit of the extra stuff. Then we get to the contents. And again, these are great boxes. It doesn't really have that much on it as the other ones do. But again, in here we have, of course, the 10 boosters. Put those there. And then we have some cards. Let's see here. Those are just some purpose cards. And then, ooh, we have the pack leader. So this is the card that you get kind of as a foil promo. So it's a rare white common. I'll just unwrap it here so you can get a better look at it. Let's see here. Where is the pull tab on this particular thingy? There we go. Just get these out, and these are like 10. I know I can't remember how many lands, but you get the foil lands as well, which are beautiful in this set. I'll just go through those in just a bit. But as you can see, this is a foil edition of Pack Leader, a rare creature, a dog. That's a 2/2, cost 1 and a white to cast, and it says other dogs you control gets +1/+1, and whenever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. So pretty cool for a tribal dog deck. Very nice. I'll just put the box a little over here. There we go. Put the card there. And then we have the lands, as you can see here. It is foil lands. The first, I can't remember how many you get of each. But there, as you can see, we have half of them are foil and half of them are just regular mana. So that is pretty nice. And also the mana in this particular set is beautiful. It's such beautiful art. I showed the red mana that I got in the packs I just did in a different stream, and as you can see here, here's the foil version of that red mana. Just beautiful. mana. Some of them a little bit more basic. I think you get like one of each of these special ones. Yeah, of this different colorway. And then the rest of them, I think it's 4 of each you get. Yeah, there's 3 of the plain ones. So 4 of each. So that must count up to like 20. All right. So, and also in the box, of course, we do get a dice. So this is the M21 nice blue dice there, as you can see here. But these boxes are great for storing the cards, storing your tokens and extra counters and stuff like that. So that is definitely one of the reasons why I keep buying these bundles, because they're great for storage as well. All right, let's get all of this stuff out of the way. All right, let's get into opening the boosters. So let's just start from the top here. And I am going to do the same thing that I did in the last stream. I am going to put all of the commons on top, uncommons here, and rares and mythics on the bottom here, just to keep them separated and make it nice and easy for me to put them away and for storage afterwards. All right, the first one of the commons is a black common creature, a horror, the Gloomsour. So it's a 8/6 creature, that costs 5 and 2 black to cast, and it says whenever Gloomsour becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. All right, and black is like, I think it's around middle, isn't it? I think. All right, and then we have a common land, a Radiant Fountain. So when Radiant Fountain enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, and for tapping it, you can add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Let's put them up a little higher here. There we go. There we go, right up beside the back leader. And then we have a common creature, a green creature, a spider, the Snare Spinner. So it's a 1/3 with reach that costs 1 and a green to cast, and it says whenever Snare Spinner blocks a creature with flying, Snare Spinner gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Oh, sorry. Pretty cool. All right, and then we have a common red instant, the Goblin Wizardry. So it costs 3 and a red to cast, and it says create 2 1/1 red Goblin Wizard creature tokens with prowess. And prowess is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, they get +1/+1 until end of turn. Then we have a blue common. We have the Library Larcenist. So it's a blue creature, a Merfolk Rogue. It's a 1/2 that costs 2 and a blue to cast, and it says whenever Library Larcenist attacks, draw a card. And then we have a black common sorcery, Mind Rot. So for 2 and a black, it says target player discards 2 cards. Then we have a white common instant, Feat of Resistance. So it costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool instant, protection instant there. Then we have Teferi's Protege. So this was actually one I got in an alternate art in the other packs. So it's a creature, a human wizard, that's a 2/3, costs 2 and a blue to cast, and for 1 and a blue and tapping it, you get to draw a card, then discard a card. Then we have a black common creature, a skeleton archer, which is called skeleton archer. It's a 3/3 and it costs 3 and a black to cast, and it says when skeleton archer enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. Then we have a white common creature, a unicorn, Daybreak Charger. So it's a 3/1 creature that costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says when Daybreak Charger enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Then we have, for some of the uncommons, we have a uncommon white creature, a Pegasus, the Vryn Wingmare, I think. It's a 2/1 with flying. It costs 2 and a white to cast, and it says non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Okay. Then we have another white uncommon. This time it's an enchantment aura, Light of Promise. So it costs 2 and a white to cast. It's an enchant creature, and it says enchanted creature has, whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. So there's a lot of opportunity for that. Then we have another white. Oh, this is almost like a comic. That's actually pretty cool art. Oh, it's a white uncommon enchantment aura, Face Feathers. So it costs 3 and a white to cast, and it says enchant permanent. When Fate's Feathers enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated unless they are mana abilities. Oh, so kind of a neutralization there. Pretty cool. And then for the rare, we have a green rare creature, a spider, a spore web weaver. So it's a rare 1/4 creature that has reach hexproof from blue, costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says whenever spore web weaver is dealt damage, you gain 1 life and create a 1/1 green sprawling creature token. Okay, cool. And then we a Withdale Falls, which is just comes into play tapped. You gain 1 life, and you can add either a green or a blue mana. And then we have a knight. All right, put those out here. All right, next pack. Let's see what we have. And I will jump over. If we get any copies in these, I will just go to the next card so we don't waste too much time. All right. The first one of the second pack is Titanic Growth. So it's a common green instant that costs 1 and a green to cast, and it says target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So again, a great booster there. And then we have Thrill of Possibility, a red common instant, costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, and you get to draw 2 cards. Then we have Rookie Mistake, a blue common instant that costs 1 blue to cast, and it says until end of turn, target creature gets +0/+2, and another creature gets -2/-0. Sorry. And then we have Furted Imp, a black common creature, an imp that it's a 1/2 with flying. It costs 1 and a black to cast, and for 1 black it says Furted Imp gains a Death Touch until end of turn. And then we have a common, oh, it's cute, a common green creature, a cat, the Pride Malkin. So it's a green 2/1 creature that costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says when Pride Malkin enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. Oh, that's pretty cool. Then we have a red common creature, a elemental dog, Ignis Cur. So that is actually one of the ones that is kind of a companion to one of the multicolored cards. So it's a red creature that's a 1/2 common, cost 1 and a red to cast, and it says for 1 and a red, Ignis Cur gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So you can boost it pretty easily. Then we have Chandra's Magmud. So it's a red common creature. It's an elemental dog again. It's a 2/2. It costs 1 and a red to cast, and for tapping it, red Chandra's Magmud deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. And then we have a common artifact, the Silent Dart. So it costs 1 to cast, and then for 4 and tapping it, sacrifice Silent Dart. It deals 3 damage to target creature. Then we have a white common creature, a dog, Alpine Watchdog. This is also one of the ones with the companion thing, which isn't the companion ability, but it's kind of just something in the text of the card. So it's a common creature, a 2/2 that costs 1 and a white to cast, and it has vigilance. Then we have a blue common creature, a spirit, roaming ghostlight. So it's a 3/2 that has flying, and it costs 3 and 2 blue to cast, and it says when roaming ghostlight enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target non-spirit creature to its owner's hand. Oh, pretty nice. And then for the uncommons, we have a blue uncommon instant, Reign of Revelation. So it costs 3 and a blue to cast, and it says draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Then we have a this is one of the shrines. We have a uncommon legendary enchantment, a shrine, Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. So it costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says at the beginning of your pre-combat phase, add X mana of 1 color, where X is the number of shrines you control. So again, for the shrine tribal decks there. Then we have a multicolor uncommon creature, a Centaur Cleric. So it's the Conclave Mentor. It's a 2/2 that costs a green and a white to cast, and it says if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on that creature instead. So it's an extra boost. When Conclave Mentor dies, you gain life equal to its power. Very nice. And then we have Chandra's Incinerator. So it's a rare red creature, an elemental. It's a 6/6 that costs 5 and a red to cast, and it says this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn. It has trample, and it says whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Centaur's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Oh, pretty cool effects there. And then we have the Rugged Highland, so it comes into battlefield tab, you gain 1 life, and you can either get a red or a green mana, and we have a Spiraling token. All right, next pack. Hoping for some good mythics. Oh, doesn't want to open. Get up. Oh. All right, let's see what we have in the third pack. So the first common of the third pack is the Tome Anima. So it's a common creature, a spirit. It's a 3/3 that costs 3 and a blue to cast, and it says Tome Anima can't be blocked as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Oh. Then we have a black common sorcery, Rise Again. So it costs 4 and a black to cast, and it says return target creature from your battlefield to, or from your graveyard to the battlefield, of course. From your battlefield to your graveyard. That would be weird. And then we have a green common creature, a dinosaur, the Drowsing Pteranodon. So it's a 3/3 that costs 1 and a green to cast. It is a defender, and it says as long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Drowsing Pteranodon can attack as though it didn't have defender. Oh, okay. Then we have Dub, which is a white common enchantment aura. It costs 2 and a white to cast. It's an enchant creature, and it says enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike and is a knight in addition to its other types. Then we have a red common sorcery, Return to Slag. It costs 3 and 2 red to cast, and it says Return to Slag deals 5 damage to target creature, destroy all equipment attached to that creature. Then we have a white common instant, Swift Response. Sorry. So it costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says destroy target tapped creature. Oh, okay. Pretty cool for an instant. Then we have a white common creature, a dwarf soldier, the Staunch Shield Mage. So it's a 1/3 that only costs a white to cast. So that's actually pretty good for a... Oh, and then we have one of the Liliana cards. So we have Liliana's Steward, a common black creature, a zombie that costs 1 black to cast. It's a 2/1, and for tapping it, it says sacrifice Liliana's Steward. Target opponent discards a card. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So, but it does have that cool alternate art with the purple. Very nice. Then we have a Ogre Turret. So it's a red common creature, an Ogre Warrior. It's a 4/3 that has reach. It costs 3 and a red to cast, and it says when Turret Ogre enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with power 4 or greater, Turret Ogre deals 2 damage to each opponent. Then we have a uncommon artifact, the Meteorite. So it costs 5 mana to cast, and it says When meteorite enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target to any target, and for tapping it, add 1 mana of any mana to your mana pool. And then we have an uncommon red enchantment, Furious Rise. So it costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with Furious Rise. Oh, okay. Oh, put that in the wrong place. There we go. Got confused there. And then we have a, oh, this is also a reprinting, I think actually from Ikoria. Reprint. The Thrashing Brontodon. So it's a green uncommon creature, a dinosaur. It's a 3/4. It costs 1 and 2 green to cast, and for 1 mana, sacrifice Thrashing Brontodon, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And then we have a rare green instant, Heroic Intervention. So it costs 1 and a green to cast, and it says permanents you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Very, very cool card. Very cool rare there. And then we have, a foil common though, Rise Again. I think we already had this one, but as you can see here, this is the foil version of that. Very nice. I'll put that with the foils. There we go. And then we have a common plains and an angel. All right, next pack. So we haven't really had that many duplicates yet, other than the Rise Again, which was a foil. But we are probably going to get some duplicates during this video. All right, anyway. The first one is the Spined Megladon. So it's a blue common creature, a shark. It's a 5/7 creature that has hexproof. It costs 5 and 2 blue to cast, and it says whenever Spined Megladon attacks, scry 1. Then we have a black common creature, a vampire, the Blood Glutton. So it's a 4/3 that has lifelink. It costs 4 and a black to cast. Then we have Return to Nature, a green common instant, costs 1 and a green to cast, and you can choose either destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. And then we have a Burn Bright. So it's a red common instant that costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. So pretty cool boost for all your creatures there. And then we have a blue common instant. It's Cancel, and it costs 1 and 2 blue to cast, and it says counter target spell. So it's a counter spell. pretty straightforward. Then we have a black common creature, a zombie, the Walking Corpse. So it's a 2/2 that costs 1 and a black to cast. And then we have a white common instant, Defiant Strike. So it costs 1 white to cast, and it says target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and you get to draw a card. And then we have a common artifact. A common artifact creature, a Thopter, the Sky Scanner. So it's a 1/1 with flying that costs 3 to cast, and it says when Sky Scanner enters the battlefield, draw a card. Then we have Grasp of Darkness, which is a black common instant, costs 2 black to cast, and it says target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Then we have a white common creature, a human soldier, Makeshift Battalion. So it's a 3/2 creature that costs 2 and a white to cast, and it says whenever Makeshift Battalion and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a +1/+1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. And then we have a uncommon white creature, a human soldier, the Falconeer Adept. So it's a 2/3 creature that costs 3 and a white to cast, and it says whenever Falcon Adept attacks, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Oh, okay, pretty cool. And then we have, oh, this was the one that I was talking about. I already had one of, I got in the other packs. The uncommon multicolor creature, human warrior, Alpine Houndmaster. So it costs 1 red and 1 white to cast. It's a 2/2, and it says when Alpine Houndmaster enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named Alpine Watchdog, which I got, and or a card named Ignis Cur. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Whenever Alpine Houndmaster attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So pretty cool abilities there. And then we have an uncommon, I also have one of these actually, the Quirion Dryad. It's a uncommon green creature, a Dryad. It's a 1/1 that costs 1 and a green to cast, and it says whenever you cast a spell that's a white, blue, black, or red, put a 1/1 counter on Quirion Dryad. Oh, there we go. Oh, and then we have a black rare legendary creature, a vampire cleric, Veto, Dawn of the Dusk Rose. So it's a 1/3 creature, legendary creature that costs 2 and a black to cast, and it says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Oh, pretty cool. And then for 3 and 2 black, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. Very nice. Pretty cool commander actually there. And then we have Dismal Backwater, which is just comes into play tapped. You gain 1 life, and it's for a blue or a black mana and a Goblin Wizard token. All right, next pack. Let's hope we get something good. I haven't gotten any mythics yet. All right, let's see what we have. The first one is a green common instant, Life Goes On. So it costs 1 green to cast, and it says you gain 4 life. If a creature died this turn, you gain 8 life instead. So pretty cool life gain there, actually. Sorry. Then we have a red common sorcery, Crash Through. So it costs 1 red to cast, and it says creatures you control gain trample until end of turn, and you get to draw a card. Then we have a blue common sorcery, Read the Tides. It costs 5 and a blue to cast, and it says choose 1, draw 3 cards, or return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. Then we have a common black creature, the Masked Blackguard. It's a human rogue that's a 2/1 with flash. It costs 1 and a black to cast, and for 2 and a black, it says masked blackguards gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Oh, pretty cool. For boosting it there. And then we have a green common creature, a boar, truffle snout. So it's a 2/2 creature that costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says when truffle snout enters the battlefield, choose 1. Either put a +1/+1 counter on truffle snout, or you gain 4 life. And then we have a red common creature, a Cyclops, Bone Pit Brute. So it's a 4/5 with menace that costs 4 and 2 red to cast, and it says when Bone Pit Brute enters the battlefield, target creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Then we have Frost Breath, which is a blue common instant that costs 2 and a blue to cast, and it says tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. So cool neutralization there. Oh, and then we have this blank card. I have seen these. This is also kind of a alternate art. Garruk's Gorehorn. So it's a common creature, a beast, a 7/3 that costs 4 and a green to cast, and it's simply a creature with no text whatsoever. Then we have a white common creature, a unicorn, Valorous Steed. So it's a 3/3 with vigilance that costs 4 and a white to cast, and it says when Valorous Steed enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Oh, pretty cool effect there. And then we have a a red common instant, the Shock. So it's costs 1 red to cast, and it says Shock deals 2 damage to any target. So kind of a minor lightning bolt, I guess. Then for the uncommons, we have a Shrine, a black uncommon legendary enchantment, a Shrine, the Sanctum of Stone Fangs. So it costs 1 and a black to cast, and it says at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. So again, for one of those Shrine tribal decks. Then we have a Tellurian Kraken. So it's a blue uncommon creature, a Kraken. It's a 4/6 that costs 4 and 2 blue to cast, and it says whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1 mana. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. Huh, pretty cool. And then we have the Battle Rattle Shaman, a uncommon creature, a Goblin Shaman. It's a 2/2 that costs 3 and a red to cast, and it says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target creature get +2/+0 until end of turn. Oh, okay. And then we have, ooh, there we go, one of the mythics. So a red mythic creature, a dragon, Terror of the Peaks. It's a 5/4 with flying that costs 3 and 2 red to cast, and it says spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Well, that's pretty cool, actually. Very nice. So a mythic red there. And then we have Blooming Sand, which comes into the battlefield tapped, gain 1 life, and it's for a green or a white, and then a cat token. All right. On to the next. All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, the first one we already had, the Rookie Mistake. So a blue common instant. And then we have one we didn't have yet. Let's see here. It's a black common instant, Alchemist's Gift. So it costs 1 black to cast, and it says target creature gets +1/+1 and gains your choice of Death Touch or Lifelink until end of turn. Pretty cool. I like those cards where you actually get to choose when you cast it. Then we have a green common creature, a Treefolk Druid. So it's the Gnawed Sage. It's a 4/4 creature with reach. It costs 3 and 2 green to cast, and it says as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, Gnawed Sage gets +0/+2 and has Vigilance. Then we have a red common enchantment aura, Furor of the Bidden. So it costs 1 red to cast. It says enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and attacks each combat if able. Then we have a green common instant, the Run a Fool. So it costs 1 green to cast, and it says target opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. So against those flying decks. And then we have Opt. I can't remember if we have had Opt here, but it's a blue common instant that costs 1 blue to cast, and you get to scry 1 and draw a card. Then we have a common artifact equipment, the Short Sword. So it costs 1 mana to cast, equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it costs 1 to equip. And then we have a white common creature. I can't remember if we had this one either here. A Celestial Enforcer. So it's a human cleric 2/3 that costs 2 and a white to cast, and for 1 and a white and tapping it, tap target creature, activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. And then we have the Roaming Ghostlight. So I believe we did already have this. The common creature Spirit 2/3/2 with flying. That costs 3 and 2 blue to cast, and it says when it enters, you can return up to 1 target non-spirit creature to its owner's hand. And then we have Liliana's Steward and the regular card. So I had the other version earlier, and I can't remember. Was it in this? Let's just see here. Am I confusing? No, it was this one. Yeah. So we already had this one. You already know this card. There we go. All right, this one we didn't have. We have a Bold Hound, a red uncommon creature, an elemental dog. It's a 2/2 with haste that costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says whenever Bold Hound attacks, other creatures you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Pretty cool. And then we have a uncommon multicolor creature, a human wizard, Obsessive Stitcher. So it costs 1 and a blue and a black to cast. It's a 0/3. And for tapping it, you get to draw a card, then discard a card. And for 2 and a blue and a black mana and tapping it, sacrifice Obsessive Stitcher, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So pretty cool, though pretty scary artwork on that one, I would say. And then we have another uncommon, this time it's a black uncommon creature, a human pirate. So it's the Kite Sail Freebooter. It's a 1/2 with flying that costs 1 and a black to cast, and it says when Kite Sail Freebooter enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, exile that creature until Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. Oh, okay. And then we have a temple. So we have for the rare, a rare land, Temple of Triumph. Temple of Triumph enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Triumph enters the battlefield, scry 1, and you can add either a red or a white mana to your mana pool. Yep. And then we have a mountain and a spiraling token. All right, next pack. Let's see what we have in this one. I haven't had that many duplicates actually, even though this is the 7th pack, I think. Yeah. All right, we have a black common sorcery, the Sanguine Indulgence. It costs 3 and a black to cast, and it says this spell costs 3 less to cast if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. Oh, pretty cool. Return up to 2 target creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, pretty cool. Then we have a green common creature, a dinosaur, Honorary Dilophosaur, I think it's called. It's a 2/2 creature with Death Touch that costs 3 and a green to cast, and it says whenever Honorary Dilophosaur attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Honorary Dilophosaur gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Okay. Then we have the Agnes Kerr, so we already had that one. Then we have a Wishcoin Crab. So it's a blue common creature, a 2/5 that costs 3 and a blue to cast, and it's a crab. And then again we have the Silent Dart, so now we're getting into some of the duplicates here. And then we have Duress. Again, I think I have this throughout. I don't know how many times this has been reprinted, but it's a lot. So it's a black common sorcery that costs 1 black to cast, and it says target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That creature discards that card. So, but that is, I think that's been I think that's one of the ones that's been reprinted the most in the last couple of years. Then we have Alpine Watchdog, which we already had as well. And then we have a red common creature, a weird. It's a Spellgorger weird. It's a 2/2 creature that costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Spellgorger weird. Weird. Oh, those are pretty fun. I have considered those for some decks actually. And then we have a common sorcery, white common sorcery, Secure the Scene. So it costs 4 and a white to cast, and it says exile target non-land permanent. Its controller gets a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And then we have a white common creature again. This time it's a griffin. It's a Gale Swooper. It's a 3/2 that has flying. It costs 3 and a white to cast, and it says when Gale Swooper enters the battlefield, target creature gains flying until end of turn. And then for the uncommons, we have, oh, was this actually one of the ones that we already had? No, not this turn. I think I had it in one of the other packs. Though it's an uncommon black creature, a human rogue, the Tavern Swindler. So it's a 2/2 that costs 1 and a black to cast, and tapping it, pay 3 life, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. So again, you have the possibility to gain 3 life, more or less, because you do pay with 3 life. And then we have a uncommon artifact creature, a golem, the Epitaph golem, I think. Epitaph, it must be tough. Yeah, Epitaph golem. It's a 3/5 creature, artifact creature that costs 5 to cast, and it says for 2 mana, put target card from your graveyard to the bottom of your library. And then we have Cultivate. Oh, this is pretty cool that they reprinted this. So it's a green common sorcery that costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards and put 1 into the battlefield, tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle your library. So pretty cool card to gain some mana, some land if you're in need. And then for the rare, we have a white rare creature, a human cleric, Containment Priest. So it's a 2/2 that has flash. It costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Oh, pretty cool effect there. And then we have Swiftwater Cliffs, which is comes into the battlefield tapped. You gain 1 life, and it's for a blue and a red. And we have a bird token. All right, looking good so far. So we did get 1 mythic and a couple of really good rares as well. Oh, struggling with this one. There we go. Oh. Okay. So the first one we already have, the nice little piggy, the little truffle snout there. And I think we also had the goblin wizardry in this turn actually as well. So pretty cool. We are getting into some of the copies. The Keene Glide Master. Can't even remember if we had this one, but it's a common creature, a human soldier. It's a 2/1 that costs 1 and a blue to cast, and it says target for 2 and a blue. It says target creature gains flying until end of turn. Oh, and then we have one we haven't had before. Pretty cool art on that one as well. So it's a common green sorcery, Track Down. So it costs 1 and a green to cast, and you get to scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature or a land card, draw a card. Oh, okay. Then we have Alchemist Gifts. We already had that one as well. Chandra's Magmud. I can't even remember if we had this time around. but it's a red common elemental dog. It's a 2/2 that costs 1 and a red to cast, and for tapping it, it deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Then we have a Concordia Pegasus. So it's a white common creature, a Pegasus, that's a 1/3 with flying, and it costs 1 and a white to cast. Pretty cool for those flying decks. Then we have Finishing Blow. I believe we did have this one. So it's a common black instant that costs 4 and a black to cast, and it says destroy target creature or planeswalker. Then we have the Alpine Watchdog as well. So good to get a lot of those if I want to make those companion decks. Okay, then we're getting into the uncommons. And we have the Tempered Veteran. So it's a uncommon creature, a human knight. It's a 1/2 that costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says for 1 white and tapping it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, and for 4 and 2 white, and tapping it, it says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So if it already has the counter, it doesn't cost that much, but it does cost a lot to get that initial counter. Oh, that's nice art. So this, I believe, is also probably some of the alternate art. It's a uncommon red creature, an elemental lizard, Chandra's Pyroling. So it's a 1/3 creature that costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Pyroling gets +1/+0 and gets double strike until end of turn. Pretty cool. I do like the alternate art in this set as well. Ikora was also great. And then we have a green uncommon creature, a tree folk, Warden of the Woods. So it's a 5/7 with vigilance, and it costs 4 and 2 green to cast. And it says whenever Warden of the Woods becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw 2 cards. Oh, pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Ugin. Oh my god, just got confused there. Oh my god, the Box Topper Ugin. So this is great. It's a mythic legendary planeswalker, the Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. It comes in with 7 loyalty counters, cost 8 to cast, and for the +2, Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, deals 3 damage to any target. For -X, exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's 1 or more colors. And -10, the ultimate. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So very nice and very cool in that alternate art, that full art there. Very, very cool. Oh, that's actually that should go over here. And then we have a foil uncommon, the Kite Sail Freebooter. So we already had that one, but as you can see, we have it in foil here, uncommon. Very nice. And then we have one of the nice swamps, like those, and a knight with vigilance. All right, 8th pack. Did get some pretty good pulls in this bundle pack, I must say. Okay, The first common is the Drowsing Pteranodon. So I think we already had this one, the defender that isn't a defender if you have a creature that has more than 4. Pretty cool card. Then we have the Tome Anima. I think this was one of the first cards we actually had. So a common creature spirit, a 3/3. Then we have Village Rites. So I think we also had this one already, this opening. So it's a common black instant, and it says, as an additional cost to this sacrifice a creature, you get to draw 2 cards, and it costs 1 black mana. Oh, this one we haven't had, but this is also a reprint, I think from Ikoria as well. Or it was, I can't remember. But it's a green common enchantment or citizen training. So it costs 1 and a green to cast. It says enchant creature you control. And it says when citizen training enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has trample. So it's actually a pretty cool boost card. Then we have Dub. We already had this one as well, the White Ore. And then we have a blue common instant frantic inventory. So it costs 1 and a blue to cast, and it says draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Frantic Inventory in your graveyard. So actually pretty cool for standard. And then we have one of the weirds. That was one of the weird ones. I think those are actually pretty cool. I do like the type there. Then we have a green common sorcery, Hunter's Edge. So it costs 3 and a green to cast, and it says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Oh, that's pretty cool. Then we have, oh, this is one of the, also the alternate art thingies, I think. It's a Basri. So it's a common creature, a cat cleric. Basri's Acolyte. So it's a 2/3 with lifelink that costs 2 and 2 white to cast, and it says when Basri's Acolyte enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Oh, so that's actually pretty cool. Actually pretty cool for a common. Oh, then we have the Pitchburn Devils. Oh, I think this is actually a reprint of a card. So it's a red common creature devil. It's a 3/3 and it costs 4 and a red to cast, and it says when Pitchburn Devils dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. Oh, pretty cool incentive not to kill it. And then we have an uncommon red instant, Unleash Fury. So it costs 1 and a red to cast, and it says double the power of the target creature until end of turn. So pretty cool boost there. Then we have, oh, another shrine. Then we have a uncommon legendary enchantment, a shrine, Sanctum of the Tranquil Light. So it costs 1 white to cast, and then it says for 5 and a white, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. Oh, pretty cool. Again, for those shrine tribal decks. And then we have a uncommon multicolor creature, a snake, the Law Scale Codal. So it's a 2/2 that costs 1 and a green and a blue to cast, and it says whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Lawsnake Codal. So again, pretty cool for those counter decks. And then for the rare, oh, I think I actually had this rare in the other pack as well. So this is actually a duplicate. So it's a red legendary creature, a human shaman, Subira Tolsidi Caravaner. So it's a 2/3 creature, legendary creature with haste that costs 2 and a red to cast. And for 1, another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. And for 1 and a red and tapping it, discard your hand until end of turn whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So pretty cool. And then we have the Jungle Hollow. It's just a land that comes into battlefield tapped. You gain 1 life, and you can add either a black or a green mana, and then a zombie token. All right, last pack of the bundle. So let's see what we got here. There we go. Okay, so the first one is the Gloom Sower. So I think that is something that we already had, so let's just skip that. We also had the Titanic Growth, which is just better than Giant Growth. And then we have a red common sorcery, Destructive Tampering. So it costs 2 and a red to cast, and it says choose 1, destroy target artifact, or creatures without flying can't block this turn. Then we have Capture Sphere. So again, I think a reprint from Ikoria. It's a blue common enchantment aura that costs 3 and a blue to cast, and it has flash. It is an enchant creature, and says when Capture Sphere enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and enchanted creatures doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So, but it's pretty cool because it does have flash, so you can cast it as an instant. Then we have a Crypt Lurker. So it's a common black creature, a horror. It's a 3/4 that costs 3 and a black to cast, and it says when Crypt Lurker enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature or discard a creature card. If you do, draw a card. Then we have a white common creature, a dog. It's the Rambunctious Mutt. So it's a 3/4 that costs 3 and 2 white to cast, and it says when Rambunctious Mutt enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Then we have a blue common enchantment aura, the Rousing Reed. So it costs 2 and a blue to cast. It's an enchant creature, and it says when Rousing Reed enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. Then we have a white common instant Feat of Resistance. It costs 1 and a white to cast, and it says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So pretty cool instant protection instant there. Then we have a green common creature, a cat, the Saber-Tooth Mauler. So it's a 3/3 that costs 3 and a green to cast, and it says at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Saber Mauler and untap it. So that is actually a pretty cool effect. And then for the uncommons, ooh, another shrine. So we have a blue legendary enchantment, a shrine, the Sanctum of Calm Waters. So it costs 3 and a blue to cast, and it says at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. Then we have, a Liliana's. So we have a black uncommon creature, a human warlock, Liliana's Devotee. So it's a 2/3 that costs 2 and a black to cast, and it says all zombies you control gets +1/+0. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So that's actually pretty cool. Then we have a uncommon multicolor sorcery. It's the Experimental Overload. So it costs 2 and a blue and a red to cast, and it says create an XX blue and red weird creature token, where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Then you may return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and you exile Experimental Overload. So again, one of these funny new weird types. And then for the rare, we have a Ruined Halo. So, that's actually pretty cool art on that. It's a white rare enchantment that costs 2 white to cast, and it says as Ruined Halo enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen card name. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's one of the whites. There we go. Oh, and then we have another foil. This time it's a uncommon green enchantment, Garruk's Uprising. So it costs 2 and a green to cast, and it says when Garruk's Uprising enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. And creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Oh, okay, cool. So, and it has the foiling on it as well. Pretty cool. All right, that was an uncommon foil there, and we have the Thornwood Falls and a soldier token. So that was pretty much the contents of the bundle pack from, let's see here, let's move all of this a little bit, I think, to the side. I think we can do that. We can get pretty much everything in frame here. But that was the content of the bundle pack from the Core 2021 set from Magic the Gathering. So I do like these bundle packs, and as you can see, you get pretty good pulls, even though it is a bundle pack and not a direct box. So let's just get this all the way straightened in here. Oh, there we go. There we go. And oh, you want to slide, don't you? And there we go. Just the last couple out here that are actually pretty pretty nifty. So got a pretty good spread here. So if you did like the video, please leave a like. If you have any comments for me, please leave a comment. And if you do want to get notifications of upcoming streams, as I am going to be opening booster packs from a booster box from M21 as well, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. So, but until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next stream or video. Bye.